I don't dislike Wales at all. It's just that I'm going to tell you if I think a team's overhyped, and I think they're overhyped. And that's why I say I think Australia might be still inconsistent, and I'm going to wait to see them play against Argentina twice before I make my mind up if they are going to compete for the World Cup. But in saying that, I do say if they can compete like they did against South Africa and maintain this consistency against Argentina, who everyone else seems to rate decently, then okay, then I can understand. But this is just how it is.
I like it. I like it. We will have to wait and see, of course. And I feel like 50-0 Wallabies over Argentina, unfortunately, maybe.
No, I'm not going to say 50-0. I'm going to say Australia. I might say about 50-6. Are you actually saying that?
Not sure. There's a part of my mind thinking if they do play Karevi and have Connor Betty on the outside, they're just going to run rampage down that wing.
So after all your positivity that you spoke to me before, you're going to give me a bigger Australia win than I'm going to give you.
I'm just saying, last week, they didn't play badly,
Okay.
They are improving Argentina, but it's whether or not Karevi and Connor Betty can get themselves just keeping on going forward like they have in the past couple of weeks. Because if they can shut down Karevi and that number 12 jersey, I think that heavily impacts the Wallabies backline because of the fact he has been the distributor. He has been very decent indeed because of the fact he's had like that 40 carries in the last couple of games. But it's one of those ones, I think it's either going to be a runaway for the Wallabies or it's going to be extremely close and maybe they sneak it a little bit later on.
Well, I'm going to go Australia 40-10. Okay. I think that Argentina could score a try. Like, I'm not going to say 0. We are susceptible to penalties and we are also susceptible to clicking off with a lofty pass, which actually happened last year against Argentina. I think they did actually get an intercept against us last year, which scored one of their tries, or might have just gone to ground. They picked it up and went away for the try in that really pouring down, wet, rainy game that suits Argentina's conditions. But I think that was the first game of the two, maybe the second game. I can't remember. But I'll take 40-10 there. We may as well, while we're here, give a New Zealand versus South Africa prediction. What are you going to go?
I don't like that one. I think on a video in the past, I did say that I'm going, I think I said 29 to the All Blacks, 24 to the Springboks.
Okay. I personally think it's a bit high scoring.
I think it is too, but I think there'll be quite a few penalties going over for the Springboks early on. 4 of those were penalties for them as well. So 12 points of their 12 and then 2 tries being scored as well. But then I think the All Blacks, the way that they've been going lately, if they start the match quickly, then they might be able to get themselves 1 or 2 early tries. But then also, if they finish the match a lot better than they did up against the Pumas, I think the middle section's going to the Springboks and the early stages maybe even going in the Springboks' favour a little bit as well. But I think the All Blacks will be more consistent throughout the performance to be able to then run away with it in the later stages.
I think for me, man, I think New Zealand right now, obviously they've got momentum, but in the same sense, I want to remind everyone that we've been criticising New Zealand, as in everyone has been criticising New Zealand for not being at their best for a while now, and I don't think they've been at their best in both their Argentinian games and also their Australian games, despite winning all 5 of them, right? So, and obviously South Africa aren't coming into this series looking great. I'm going to take them only on the basis that I think that they're going to bounce back. But in the same sense, they disappointed us last week. Now, I did say that Australia would win 23-20, and they ended up winning convincingly in the end, actually. Very convincingly, to be honest with you, especially considering what everyone thought going into that game. I'm only going to take South Africa here simply because they've just got so much to play for here. They're getting absolutely slaughtered by their media, their fan base. If they don't come out and win this game in the 100th test against New Zealand in a rivalry game, which would keep them in the hunt for the championship and whatnot, then that is, honestly, for me, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I would somewhat be embarrassed with South Africa, and that's not great to say because I know South Africans wouldn't like that. But in the same sense, I think they are embarrassed right now. I've seen comments saying this Wallabies team is a second-rate British and Irish Lions, and that's just a stupid comment. It's a stupid comment. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever because you couldn't compare Australian and British Irish Lions whatsoever. And secondly, you beat the British and Irish Lions. You lost to Australia twice. Why are you comparing them? Because, okay, I don't understand the comparison there whatsoever. Also, I just want to throw it out there, the Northern Hemisphere doesn't work. Secondly, your Northern Hemisphere style doesn't work. Thirdly, if you don't change it, and this is what I said in my stream, if you don't change. From the Northern Hemisphere negative style that South Africa are playing, they are going to lose both games to New Zealand, and they are going to lose well in both games to New Zealand, because that is not working in the Southern Hemisphere. You can go and beat, the likes of England and British and Irish Lions and Wales and whatnot, all you like with that negative game style. That's why they don't win World Cups. You come down to the Southern Hemisphere where teams win World Cups, and you should be playing your best style of rugby. Enough of this bullshit about South Africa playing their style of rugby, and that's why they win games, because that's what you're doing right now. Is you're not playing South African style rugby, and you're losing games. You're losing games to a team that's just lost 3 games in a row to New Zealand. 3 games in a row. So if you come in with the negative style again, you are going to lose by a lot. I'm taking South Africa here because I'm hoping and praying they change to play the South African way. None of this other bullshit about South Africa playing this negative style because they think that's going to work. And what did we say in the comments, Hamish? We saw comments saying, whatever wins is how we should go. Okay, well, it's not winning. So why are you still utilising it? Because I was expecting South Africa to change their game style in this game, but they didn't do it. Would you disagree with anything I've just said? I'm going to just before you jump in, I'm going to take South Africa. I'm going to take them 18-15. I'm going to take a low-scoring one.
All right. Well, I'm just going to mention quickly, they have just announced their lineup, and they've gone with the 5-3 split off the bench rather than 6-2. So that is a big change already that they've decided to go with the Springboks. So I'm going to stick with my 29-24, but I'm excited to see what they decide to do here because of the fact that they have decided to go back to a 5-3 split rather than the 6-2, which makes me think maybe it could be a different tactic for this game.
Or maybe they should go back to the tactic that won the World Cup. That thing that we usually play for, that World Cup that they're usually pretty good in. The thing that they've won 3 times by playing attacking Southern Hemisphere rugby. Maybe they should change their tactic to go and play some attacking Southern Hemisphere rugby. And have you noticed this as well in the comment section that people are starting to refer to the Northern Hemisphere versus Southern Hemisphere style of rugby yet again?
Just a little bit. I think there's been a little bit of influence, perhaps, from someone on this one. But
a little bit of influence. But I think we should move into the play of the week because we have been gone for quite some time now.